is a PE225. Basically, it's a edger, but the same motors on almost everything that Echo makes for this size. The problem with this is it only runs on choke, and then after that it will run normally, but it will have very little power. I took the gas out of it, and it wasn't very good. And these fuel lines feel very, very good. I'm going to check the filter too. Maybe it's being choked the other way. No, we're going to leave that on. There's a possibility this will have to have a tune-up on the carburetor, but it's not very old, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I want to try doing the fuel first, because it was definitely older. So let's just put a little bit in, maybe about half a tank, which for this is going to be like 6 ounces or something. That should be close enough. Well, I hope it's not the carburetor. It very well could be, but let's try the simple stuff first. I know it has spark. I know it has all that. Make sure to push on. Make sure Garage Puppy's head isn't next to the blades. And let's go ahead and give her a pull. It is on cold start. Because I'm replacing the fuel completely, I'm going to give her a little bit more primes than I probably should. I want flush all the bad fuel out. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, so while that seems like it could be successful, I want to double check this in the morning, or at least in a couple hours, so after it cools off. Something that isn't really publicized for whatever reason is this carburetor. Let me take this off so it's a little easier to see. If you look at it, it has no adjustment screws of any type that you can tell. However, if you were to look down there, that is a little tiny screw. Probably can't see it. There might be a black plug in the way too. But there's a little tiny screw in there. Take a really small like eyeglass repair kit screwdriver and adjust it that way. That's your idle. There's another one down there. It's a plug in it. That plug is a special to remove. But once you do, that is your high-speed screw. So on this one, it idled just fine, so I'm not worried too much about that one. But that one, I might still tweak a little bit. Another thing I kind of want to look at, but because it's so new, I'm not sure if it's even really worth it, is I want to see if the spark arrestor is plugged. So just because we're going to wait for it to cool off anyway, let's go ahead and get some tools ready. We'll take that off, clean it if it needs to be, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so this is we took off the cover, just 3 screws, that's easy. Undo the spark plug boot. This is what we need. We don't need to take out these 2. This mounts the exhaust to the engine, but we need to take out these. So the exhaust itself looks pretty good, but if you see this oily residue, that usually ends up happening from overuse of 2-cycle fuel oil. It's also hot, so I'm not going to touch it with my hands. There we go. But, tip, if any of these are seized, being hot will help kind of unseize it. Heat is your friend. Okay. correctly, this should come off semi-easily. There we go. So that's actually not looking too bad. Let's get a screwdriver, kind of pop this off. Oh. Hot hands, hot hands. Alright, so it's not that hot anymore. It's not horrible. I mean, it's not clean, but it's not horrible. I'm still going to clean it out. I think it just needs a carburetor adjustment, possibly cleaning. This guy takes pretty good care of his machine, so I might just clean it anyway. But I don't know. We'll take out that little plug first and see if we can't just get rid of it that way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pair of needle nose like this. You could do it with propane, but I like to use MAP gas. Just kind of get this red hot, and then let it cool, put it back on. The red hot temperatures will cause the carbon to burn off. Okay, I'm going to put this back together and be right back. Okay, so got that done. These are really small screwdrivers. This is, it's 2x5 by 50 millimeter, so 2.5 millimeters wide. It seems to be a pretty good fit for both the high and the low. I had a little bit of a brain moment. Falling on your face on the 2-cycle usually means a low screw needs to be a little richer, so I'm going to do that a little bit right here. There we go. Still pump it. Let's just see what that shows, see what happens. Okay, so that sounds pretty good, not gonna lie. There's something called force cycling it, where it kind of sounds like it's breaking up, and it's doing that pretty good. How you do that is you richen it so it's screaming, and then a little richer. That gives you a little bit of a leeway in temperature, because the colder it gets, air density changes and whatnot. So the best way to do this is to test it out, because it does need a load. Weed eater is easy enough because it just spins and hits the weeds, so you just fill up the end. For this, you need to put in some dirt, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Okay, so I'm not a professional at this, so hopefully I don't scrape it too much. To me. Okay, I think I'm going to keep it for one more day just in case, but definitely keep watching and subscribe, and I'll see you everyone later.